Hello, world.
Hello, hello, hello.
I got Ms.Glam with me, and I'm your girl Mohazel, and we're just two badass besties. Episode 70.
70?
70. How are you doing today, by the way?
I'm fabulous.
That's awesome. Well, Ms.Glam, we got some company on the show today.
Who's our company?
Well,
Does that mean I have to behave?
you do. You don't have to.
Which one is it?
Be yourself. Only gut punch me. Only gut punch me. But today we have a childhood friend of mine, Jorel, hailing from the VA. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing wonderful.
And you're going to drop all the secrets about Mohazel, right?
That ain't why you on the show.
I'll slide
That
that to you
is.
in the slide. We'll slide to you in the slide.
He's my new
This
friend.
ends now. Show done. But yeah, so we appreciate you being on the show today, and we hear you're going to participate in Weekly Delight with us, but you are going to just kind of watch how Petty Word goes down, correct?
Sure. I'll watch and see how petty y'all can get.
Okay. No worries. All right, so let's go with Weekly Delight. It's where we take a person, place, a thing, inspirational quote. It can be books, it can be video games, it can be anime, it can be food. It's just whatever is keeping us pumped and getting us through the week to get to Friday. And so with that being said, we'll have our guest go first. So Jorel, you're up first.
I guess I would say mine would be, which is so crazy because you said video games, because the new Pokemon game just came out. And I know that sounds really weird, but the Pokemon community, I don't know if you guys have ever played them as kids or anything, because I did. But it's been like this whole thing where people are like, oh, it's horrible now, it's gotten bad. And I guess they're one of those fan bases where like they still buy it even if it's bad, which I don't understand. But the new one is like a DLC and it came out. And it's actually been fun to play. It actually took me out of my head because I was back into a slump where I was like, oh, I want to get back to work, get back to the office. And it just came at like the right time where I'm getting back to the office next week. So this is like a good week to just get in there, play around, do fun stuff, not really think, even though they have no map for it. So I've had to literally walk around. I've been in like the same spot for like days trying to figure out how to get around. But it hasn't been too bad. It's gotten my mind off of everything. There's been nothing new streaming because the boys just ended. So all the shows ended and all that stuff. So this has been like fun to actually just take my mind off and play Nintendo, which I haven't done in forever. I've never played Nintendo anymore.
You gotta appreciate the classics.
Right.
You know, it's funny. You said that things have stopped streaming, and it's so funny because now I'm seeing all these previews for like things coming in December, things coming in late November, and I'm like, man, but it ain't even November yet.
Yes, it is. In like a couple of days.
Yeah, it is.
And I was looking at that because I don't know if you guys watched it, but I have like the Disney streaming service, and The Mandalorian apparently is dropping like the first week in November. I don't know how I missed that one.
See, it's just these random late, just dropping in the middle of the night kind of a deal, and you got to just like, you're like, wait, when this? Oh, it's today? Oh, cool. Okay, I didn't hear about it till today, but it's cool.
Because your notifications, I know, because I get notified like weeks in advance.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to get with you because my friend was like, The Mandalorian drops in like 2 weeks. I'm like, excuse me, The Manda who?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I
don't watch that, but my younger brothers and sisters do.
I just like Baby Yoda.
That's the Baby Yoda one.
I never got into Star Wars. I just never did.
You don't have to because The Mandalorian doesn't really dabble into a lot of that. But it's like, have you ever seen any of like the Asian, like what is it? Like I compare it to like Lone Wolf and Cub, which is like an old Asian movie where it's like the samurai with like the orphan that he carries with him. It's very similar to that. It's like the stories you see like the older person, like the younger kid who walks around, who like takes them around and takes care of them. Mm-hmm. Literally that's the whole show. It's like the Mandalorian and then the Baby Yoda, and like every episode is like something different. So it's like, and it's funny and there's no real lore to it because I was watching because I watch Star Wars movies, but I don't read the books and do all that stuff. So like if it wasn't in the movies, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So people would be like, oh, that was in this book. I was like, I don't know what you're talking
about. Interesting. Well, Ms.Glam, you're up next. What is your weekly delight?
My niecey Pooh made her school cheerleading team.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, I'm surprised that's a weekly delight. I'm surprised she ain't crying.
I'm super proud. I'm hurting as far as schedule-wise, but super proud.
So you're going to be at every game now?
I'll be at the first one. Someone will be at every game though,
She
because
said the village has to share in that duty.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they have a game like every week.
Yeah, that
Every
would be
week.
tough too. But I'm glad for it because then you get to show up and like, especially the first day, because you get like take pictures and see her go out there for the first time.
Yeah, well, she has put us on strict. Don't embarrass me. Do not. Because we were like, we're going to go Niecy Poo. And she goes, I'm not even on the court. Do not do that.
That's hilarious.
Like, but we're cheering for the cheerleaders.
I mean, only embarrass her if you see like a football player trying to holler at her. I saw her in the uniform. She looked kind of cute.
Well, everybody at the school knows me.
Yeah.
So they.
That's like I can't remember.
Yeah. They know to stay away.
Nice. That's like that one movie I saw where the mom is like dropping the kid off. He's like, "Don't embarrass me." And he gets out the car. It's like, "See you, sweetie. I'll be here to pick you up." It's sort of like the same thing. It's just like, "Don't say my name. Just let me cheerlead and just be happy." You're like, "No, we're gonna scream for you when you come out."
Yes.
What was it in Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
Where Miles, where the
that
dad was like, "Say I love you, Miles," and he wouldn't, and then he put the microphone on and he was screaming at him, and he was like, "All right, Dad, I love you," but yeah,
that'd be me. She learned that lesson in elementary. That whole, here, duck back here, give me kisses, tuck your head. No. We can do this here in the car. You can give me kisses, or I'm gonna walk out there and say it in front of your friends as you're walking in the door. So
like pick your embarrassment level.
There you go.
Pick wisely. Well, my weekly delight is my mama's 60th birthday is coming up. I'm excited because in this COVID world, I hope that she likes what's going to go down. By the time this episode airs, it would happen. So she's a November baby, so Scorpio season is officially upon us. I'm excited to do a virtual sip and paint for her. She'll have some friends Zoom call. They'll paint from their houses and we'll paint from mine and give her a nice, lovely COVID social distancing as it can get. You stay at your house, we stay at our house. Type of party. It's so difficult. So COVID birthdays are very tricky because it's like if you were at the beginning of COVID, it was just shot. Now in Florida, our governor has opened up essentially to where we can frolic and play almost kind of back to normal. It seems it's just kind of be cautious, and I guess we can keep our mask on.
It was supposed to expire. It did not. My understanding is they extended it.
Our rules are constantly changing, but it's going towards them trying to bring back some sense of normalcy. And I don't know if people are ready for that or not, but that's just kind of how our governor is moving in Florida. In Virginia, how is it with COVID? Are people on lockdown? Are people on curfew? Are there strict rules with the mask? What's going on in VA?
We don't have curfew. Everybody is being conscious enough to wear masks when they go, like when they're like in stores and stuff. And if you don't, people don't really say anything. They're just kind of like keeping their distance. So like we've been doing the really good as far as like the social distancing thing. I have noticed that people are going out more. Like I used to, like when I was younger, I would go to bars and stuff like that. So friends of mine who go to like the places I would go to, I saying like gay bars, whatever, you can't like go to the dancers. They have like buckets in the front. So like you walk to the stage and put buckets that in, and they have seating rooms inside. I know a lot of places outside you can sit down, which is different because I had a birthday back in June, and that was when, you know, everything was like here, it wasn't great in June. Like here, everything was closed down. You couldn't go anywhere. So literally my birthday was at home. Now it's a little bit more relaxed. People still go out and things like that. I feel like some places they're breaking the rules, some places they aren't, because I'll have friends, like they just opened up milkshake place here that people have been trying. I saw a lot of people like sitting a little bit closer, and all I say is though you can tell because like when September hit and the bars like actually opened to a better capacity, people were going out like they didn't care if COVID was out or not. They were tired of being home.
Yeah, and so it's been very interesting. And so while the world is kind of starting to open back in Florida, I don't feel safe enough to plan a birthday, especially because it's her 60th. So it's supposed to be an epic, you know, iconic birthday, and you want to go all out, and I couldn't see doing that right now. I hope she enjoys it. I'll definitely
and y'all have been getting a
about
bad rep too, because like y'all are one of the states, like y'all, California, New York,
We
New
deserve
Jersey, like y'all have been
that
getting
rap.
that bad rep.
We deserve
where, like,
that rap.
Yeah.
We really
Because
do.
of like one person, because like if one establishment gets too many people, that's the picture you'll see on newspapers all over the United States.
No,
we
it's
deserve that rap.
You know what's so funny? I appreciate you saying that, but that one picture is just the one that they caught, because there's like 25 more that are breaking the rules.
So, as someone who has a kid in school and gets the daily updates on how many kids are testing positive, and gets the updates of schools that have to close because people aren't doing what they're supposed to do, yeah, we deserve that rap. 100%.
Yeah, we do. You know, it's so funny. So I listen to The Breakfast Club, and you know how the Charlemagne always says all crazy people come from like Florida and
Florida and Bronx, because I have both.
I always hate when Charlemagne talks like that, but ever since COVID, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be quiet.
Yeah.
Well, I feel bad too, because like you're there, you know, y'all are there, and then my friend Eric is there, and then I have family in, you know, these states and talking about. I'm like, I don't want you to say that because I know they're not doing it. I know it's like those other people that are doing it. So I want them to take the same blame.
There's a lot of people that are still trying to push to be safe, and there's a lot of people that are just like, man, you know, this is invading my rights and all that, and make it more than what it is.
People don't like change, and they fight to not change.
Hopefully her birthday's going to be great, and hopefully the world will get back to normal.
Look,
but
at the least she can have wine and not have to worry about driving home.
And you know what? And that was why I had to incorporate wine of some caliber, so that way if everything went wrong, wine will make her forget all of it, and she'll be like, Mohazel, I think you did a good job. I don't remember anything, but I think you did a good job. But no, I'm sure it'll be great. But it's just, I wanted to do so much more because I love doing her iconic birthdays. But fingers crossed. And she looks good for age, so I'm proud of her. All right, you guys. Yeah. So this is the main part of the show. The reason why you are both here, because I don't know Jack Diddley about this subject, but I'm
why I gotta
pink.
be Jack Diddley?
I mean,
so you hear the hate in her voice already?
Listen,
do you hear it?
Listen,
do you hear it?
You know we used to it. You know we used to it because we go out and we get excited. He'd be like, "What are you talking about? What?"
So I brought you guys here to talk everything Harry Potter.
No,
everything Harry Potter.
You don't get to do the British accent. You do not get to do the British accent when you hating on Harry Potter. No. No.
Well, I don't have hate in my heart. At least I'm gonna try not to have hate in my heart. I just want to have a conversation, and I know.
How do you hate the poor boy whose mom saved his life?
I don't hate him. I don't hate him. Listen.
Okay, so Jorel, I don't think she has told you about. So I did get her to read the first book.
The topic's called Potter Hour, by the way, fans, in case you were wondering.
I did get her to read the first book, right?
Yes, she paid me to read the first book.
I was like, no. I'm not saying you didn't like it. And I'm like, didn't you, bond with him? Didn't you hear his struggle? Oh my God, aren't you heartbroken? She's like, this happens every day. Like, who cares? Like, so what? Get over it. He should be like, really? Like, she had no compassion for poor Harry Potter.
I was
like,
cutthroat.
None.
I was really cutthroat.
And then she was giving examples of how other people have suffered worse than him. Like, seriously? Seriously.
Rwanda.
Like, this is why I can't with her. Like, she's like, I don't.
No, and the reason why, Jorel, is because I don't get into phenomenons. I actually run from them.
So what happened when it came out later? Like when the movies or the books came out, like when they redid the covers for the books and stuff. But people still, I know when I first saw the first movie, it still wasn't like this big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, it was a thing, but it wasn't huge.
She read it after all the books were out, and the hype had died down. I honestly think she's just a hater and was hating on it because I loved it.
No, I mean,
yeah, it was.
I like Harry Potter land. I like Butterbeer. Harry Potter is a nice dude.
Who should say dude?
I mean,
exactly.
So before I get myself in trouble, I'm going to be here to just ask questions. I want to know more about Harry Potter. Maybe I am giving him a hard time. Maybe I am not giving him a fair shake. Maybe I need to look into this young man's story. He's a boy who lived. I need to know more about that. So I'll start with you, Jorel. What drew you into Harry Potter? Like, when you first heard about it to becoming a big fan, how did we get to there?
Well, I only watch the movies, and I'm really good. I like fantasy stuff. So like I've seen The Lord of the Rings, I've seen Willow, I've seen The Neverending Story. So I was like, hey, what's this Harry Potter movie? And the first one I watched, I ended up not seeing it in theater because my parents were like, you're not gonna watch no movie about no magic. I was like, okay, I'll just watch it on DVD later. So I picked up, I believe the first one was Philosopher's Stone. That was the one that I watched on DVD, and that's when he got into like Quidditch and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then after that, I just started watching all of them. The later movies are my favorite, but I get the first ones. The first ones, I guess, because they grow with you. Mm-hmm. So they grew with the cast. So the cast was growing up at the same time. And I guess the older ones just spoke to me more because the younger ones just didn't grab me. So that's when I got into it, was because I liked fantasy ones, and that was just another fantasy story to get into.
What about you, Ms.Glam?
Mine was by accident. I went to the movies with a friend to spy on her man. Somehow we ended up in that theater. Like, I don't even think we bought tickets for that movie.
Got it.
But, you know, I like all things fantasy. I was actually movie 2, and I got hooked. And then I was in college at the time, and I was working overnight, which left a lot of time to be bored. So I happened to go to the bookstore to find a book and went, oh, you know, I don't like cliffhangers. So 2 kind of left like, well, what's going to happen next? And I found out that the books were written and you get to find out what happened next. So I bought book 3 and then book 4, and then was pissed to find out that I had to wait for book 5. But then I realized that I actually watched movie 2, book 2, didn't know what happened in book 1. So I at least was able to read 1 and 2 to then help me get 5. So I think I had to wait 6 months in between 4 and 5, which wasn't bad compared to how long I had to wait for 6 and 7.
I feel you. Let's get into the houses. Okay. So I know that there are 4 houses to Harry Potter, right? So what house are you a part of, and who in that house would have been your best friend? And I also want you to tell me, you know, why were you chosen for that house? And do you think that house represents you?
That's a lot of questions at once.
So I'll let you go first then, Ms.Glam.
Well, obviously, I'm Hufflepuff.
I don't even know what obviously I'm Hufflepuff means.
They have traits and stuff. They have like traits and things.
They
and
do
things
have
like
traits. So
Okay.
the number 1 trait of Hufflepuff is loyalty. See, doesn't make sense now?
Keep going.
See?
Keep going.
I guess the house mascot, the animal that represents the house, is a badger, but it's like
You're yellow. That's all I know.
Yes, yellow and black. Loyalty, honesty. Like, even though, like, I think Hufflepuffs get a bad rep of just being the blah house, the house you don't want to go to, because we are...
Y'all are boring?
No, it's just
Okay.
we're very low key. We don't care about the spotlight,
Okay.
but we're badass. Like a badger.
So
Badass.
who would have been your best friend in the house?
You know what? I think my best friend, like, and I'm not going to go by the school age, like when Harry Potter was there, would have been Tonks. And the reason being is she's a nut, and she reminds me of you. Don't she remind you of Mohazel, Tonks, Jorel?
I can see that.
See?
I can see that.
I have no clue what y'all are saying. Make
Now
it make sense.
She's just...
Especially when you see how everything ties into her story later and how she actually helps them later. It's like, oh, you can see that.
Yes.
I get nothing.
No,
from
you
any
won't.
of
Read the
that.
books.
That's some shady-ish there. I don't know what we're talking about. No, I'm just playing. So okay, does the house represent you? Like, why do you think they? Because obviously the hat chooses you.
No, you take a quiz.
Yes, you take a quiz, but theoretically a hat chooses you, right?
No. So
Okay.
you put
How does
the
that
hat on.
Yes.
The hat sits on your brain. Your little head, your brain.
Yes.
And it's not that the hat chooses your house. He reads you. But ultimately, if you had read the book, you would know that you really choose you because it's your choices that make you who you are.
You chose Hufflepuff. Does it represent you? You feel so because loyalty, is that the only trait, or?
No, well, I mean, those are the house traits. But like me, I don't like the spotlight. I'm badass. Obviously, badass besties. I tend to be in the background. You don't know I'm badass. until you try me. Then you get to, experience it firsthand.
Okay.
And that's just like that house. Their talents are not out there for the world
readily
to see.
known. It's to be discovered.
Yes.
Well, I took the test, and funny enough, I'm in Slytherin, which
I have no
I
clue
feel
what
like
that
it's
means
another
either.
one. I feel like it's similar to Hufflepuff, where you get a bad notion from it. Because if you actually look up, because I went to Pottermore, like Ms.Glam did, and took my test. There's actually a few people who were actually in the house who actually were good. The issue is though, is that when you read it or you see it, a lot of villains also come from the house. Like you have like Umbridge, you actually have Voldemort. All of them actually come. And Harry Potter, because of his connection and what happened to him, he's actually between two houses. He chose Gryffindor, but he could have been in either house. So that's just like a little quirk there. I wanted Slytherin, which is funny because when I was taking the test, I was like, watch it give me a house that I don't want, and then I'm gonna be highly upset. But I like this because I was like, I don't want to be in a house that's like, the only house I really didn't want was Ravenclaw, and I do not know why, but I just didn't want that house. I was like, I'm fine with any house, just not that one. And I like the fact they're achievement oriented because I'm very much one of those, even as a kid, I was one of those people who was like, so what am I gonna get if I do this? Like the A had to be on the paper, like I was doing the extra credit, like that was me. Those are like the things that I really like gravitate towards. I like being cunning. I like thinking outside of the box. So I feel like it's a house that really fits me, which is funny because I don't like snakes. I don't like anything gross. Don't bring no spider near me. None of it. Like if I was actually in Harry Potter and Nagini showed up, I was gonna take a sword to her throat too because I wasn't going there. Like stay away from me. I'm not doing it.
Who would have been your bestie?
What else? I don't think I'd have a best friend in that house.
They're
like I
evil.
said, and the last couple of years, like they have a history of having good people in the house, but it's very rare. Like I think Snape was in the house or something. He was actually pretty good, but most of their people are like evil.
But you wouldn't want Snape as a friend.
So I'm like, oh, y'all cool. You got a couple of cuties in the house, but guess what? I'm going over here to like Gryffindor or one of those because the house is not the place. Like it's one of those places like you would have people and have allies with. They probably wouldn't be your best friend. So they'll sell you up the river. If it'll get them higher positions, they'll probably sell you up the river. So they're probably not going to be anybody I'm going to be friends.
So there's no brotherhood in this house, is what we're saying.
As long as they get something from it, sure, but otherwise, no.
Got it.
That house, like the traits, is more like
sleep
ambitious.
with one eye open.
Ambitious is a trait.
Got it.
Yeah.
Politicians would be great in that.
Yes.
And this is the greenhouse, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know by colors.
Green and black.
Got it. Ms.Glam, I also took the test. I am the red house. So that means Gryffindor. Which means me and Harry Potter could be best friends, right?
If you knew who Harry Potter was.
Man, I know who Harry Potter is, man. Y'all ain't gonna shame me today. Listen, time out. He would be the only one I would know in that house. Let's be clear.
Really?
Well, I don't know who else is in the house. I don't know who else is in the house.
Ron is in the house.
See, I just need them. So, what is the purpose of my house?
Bravery.
Okay.
Doesn't listen to the rules. Just does what they want to do. So loud and out there. Leaders. Just, being reckless.
So let me ask you guys this. We talked about the houses. Let's talk about the villains. If you could be one of the villains, who would you pick to be?
See, I'm a cheat. I would be Snape because he seems like a villain, but he really isn't. He had a pure heart.
So why did he get a bad rap?
Because he wouldn't let anybody know it.
He only
had a pure heart when it came to one person.
Harry.
No, his
Hermione.
mother.
Oh, his mom.
But Snape, I feel like you're right, because Snape's backstory would say that Gryffindors aren't that great. Because Harry's father was Gryffindor and he was a jerk.
Yes, he was. Snape and Harry's mom were very close.
Okay.
And obviously Harry's dad liked Harry's mom. He was very mean to Snape. That whole that whole guy rivalry of I'm going to get her. I mean, obviously he grew up and grew out of it, but he was really mean to him.
What about you, Jorel? What villain would you be?
I don't know if I would be a villain, but I feel like Umbridge.
Really?
Because, hold on, this is the reason why. Because I feel like if you want to say like people are petty and shady, I feel like she was the pettiest one out of the group. Because I had totally not even realized that she was a Slytherin because she wears bright pink clothes. Her office is just as bright. Her cats move in the portrait. But like when she was punishing the kids and she was like, write your name down 50 times or whatever. When they would write their names, they would actually be writing it on their hand. I'm like, if that isn't the worst punishment.
They wrote it so like
And they
the
couldn't
quill.
stop. She
Yeah.
she would jinx them, so they kept doing it until they were done.
The
So they
quill,
would literally be
geez.
writing on their hands.
there was no ink.
Mm-hmm.
The quill would basically, you're writing on your hand so you get the blood because you're writing, I will not lie, I will not tell lies in your blood.
Oh, jeez.
See, and I
That's
always
gangster.
That
That sounds gangster.
thought she was I thought she was even more evil than Voldemort.
That's what I thought, because I'm sitting there and I'm watching. I was like, somebody like a chat or something like on the Facebook group. She was a Slytherin. So I looked up. I was like, that makes so much sense. Especially because, like I said, I only really seen the movies. There was the movie where she got introduced, and they kept saying, the evil Lord is back or whatever, and she did everything she could to make sure those kids looked crazy and nobody knew. Like,
yes.
She was the pivotal point on why nobody believed those stories.
She's just like, and I guess I always thought she was pure evil because she was just hateful. She just hated just to hate.
Is there
Whereas
a backstory to
with
her?
Voldemort, it really wasn't a hate thing. It was just he wanted to be great.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted
He was a
to.
racist.
He wanted to. Well, yeah, but he wanted to be the greatest ever because he was trying to deny his own heritage.
Mm-hmm.
He was just trying to be the greatest ever. Still bad.
Mm-hmm.
Still very bad.
Mm-hmm.
But
She was-
Umbridge just hated everybody and everything. Like, she was just pure, like, just hate. But she came
believed
across
in his
as...
doctrine so much that she literally did the worst.
Yeah. And she was just so sweet with it, like, and soft-spoken, but she was just hateful.
But what's her backstory? Like, where does her hate derive from? Do we know? Does it say in the book
She's
or
just
the
an
movie?
evil, mean little lady.
Oh.
Yeah, because in the Harry Potter world, you have people who are regular people who are muggles, so like regular people.
Yes.
And you have purebloods, and you have people in between.
Yes.
She believed there should be no intermixing, so there should be no mixing. That's what his people. And the thing is, the weird part
You
is
sure
that
she ain't
I wanna
racist?
see, wasn't Voldemort? Because Voldemort was like part, wasn't he? He had like a family member who was like
Correct.
human,
No,
and then one was like a witch.
Yeah, so his mother his dad was a muggle.
Mm-hmm.
So he was
Okay,
was a mudblood.
So he went through trying to be powerful enough that he could be like seen as being pure blood, even though he wasn't.
Yeah, he really
So
wasn't.
he had all these pure-blooded families on his side. She was one of them. She believed in what he said so much that she didn't want any intermixing. So, and when I say believed it, she hated Hermione because Hermione was born from two muggle parents. But she was like, basically, she called her a muggle, but she had the first person who had magic in her family. So she hated her. She hated anybody who was not a pure blood. She wondered why Ron was hanging out with him. She wondered why Harry Potter was hanging out with him. She felt Harry Potter was lowering himself, so she hated him. And she was like, you're a sympathizer. She hated the Weasleys. Like, she was literally a racist to the core.
Just hateful.
Now, let me ask you guys this, switching gears. What is the craziest thing you've done in the name of your love for Harry Potter? Like, are you that fan, or have you ever had a moment where you were that fan?
I don't know if it's crazy, but you remember I used to go to the midnight books because I wanted the book when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I would literally read, like I would
Clear,
get the book.
The book comes out at midnight and it's at a bookstore. What time do you go to the bookstore?
Oh, you got it. Well, I pre-ordered my book, so it didn't matter. But
True.
I would show up with my pre-ordered ticket and be in line probably about 8-ish.
What goes on there?
It's not bad. Same thing with the movies.
What goes
But
on there,
Most
though?
bookstores
I mean,
do stuff like games
you have-
or something.
yeah,
Most
you have-
bookstores try to do stuff.
Yes, you have games, you have people who dress up. I never
Okay.
dressed up. But after I got my book, and the guy I was dating at the time understood, until the book is finished, don't talk to me. We can be in the same room, but I'm finishing this book.
Harry is my love right now.
100%.
Got
Like,
it.
literally, we would leave. He would drive. I would start reading my book, and I can't read and drive. Like, I
Mhm.
can't read in the car. It gives me a headache. But for Harry Potter, I would. We
Oh,
would
she
go
said
get
she
something
reading
to
that
eat.
night.
Yeah.
And literally, like,
12:01.
I would get home or his house, and I would continue to read. Like, go to bed, good night. And I would read, and he would wake up in the morning and be like, yeah, I'm still reading. It would be, do not talk to me, bring me food, keep me hydrated. But unless it's for bathroom breaks, and even bathroom breaks, book went with me. No stop.
Got
And then
it.
when it stopped, I would breathe, hi, And then I would have to reread because now I would give it a couple of days, but you got to reread because
you might want to catch something.
Because you were reading so fast to get to what the hell happened that I gotta go back. I missed some stuff. I know I did. And honestly, to this day, every time I read, and I've read that series so many times, I couldn't even count. I always discover something new. Always.
Oh, it's kind of like me with Hamilton. I got you.
It's
not about Hamilton today. It's not. So, but okay, that's fine. So your craziest is you would stand in line for a pre-ordered book that it didn't matter. You had the ticket for it, but you would get there a few hours to kind of just be in the feels and get excited and get ready for the book.
I'm waiting for the book early because the line to get the book is long and I don't want to wait 2 hours to get the book. Okay. So I'm waiting so that I can get in line to get my book number, 200 versus 800. Because you remember when we were there was that long line, and remember you were like, come, and I'm going, I can't move.
Yes.
I was in line.
Yeah, so I would, Jorel, go to the store just to taunt her.
Yes.
And then
bring me
tech
food,
support.
nothing.
No, I'm not. And tech support would be the a-hole that would, as we are leaving out the bookstore, would act like he knew the ending, and he would be like, Harry Potter's gonna die.
Yes, he was.
Oh, he was one of those.
Yeah.
People.
So he would do it just to get a rise out of people, and let me tell you, and he did it right. He did it right though, because he knew they couldn't get out of line. Ain't nobody moving for you, bruh. But they would talk crap to him like, get out of here. You ain't nobody special. But he would do it. Yeah, he thought he was slick. Like, it ain't midnight yet. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't going. There's no pitchforks and fire coming after me. So, Jorel, what about you? Are you that fan, or have you had that fan moment with Harry Potter? I know you are more of the movie lane of Harry Potter. What have you done in the name of Harry Potter?
I'm like, Miss Sam, I don't think I've done anything crazy. Like, I remember we had like a bar crawl for Harry Potter. So I had, like, before I even asked anyone, I texted them and said, we're going to a bar crawl, Harry Potter. So I literally bought everyone tickets. I had got, like, my friend, I told her we were going, so she bought, like, shirts. And so I had a Slytherin shirt with, like, a little cape on it. And because they give out wands, that I'm one of the people I'm like, okay, so I paid $25 for these tickets, because I bought everybody's tickets. So, like, that's how kooky I was. I was like, you're going, whether you say, because I don't need you to say you don't have the money. It was like, this is Harry Potter. Like, we're not doing that today. not today, not tomorrow, not every day. You're going.
Right.
So I bought the tickets, and then I was like, for $25. And they were like, oh, it comes with, like, a cup and a wand. I was like, yeah, the wand's probably going to be ratchet, so we're not doing that. I actually went on the website and bought the wands that, you can buy online from the park. And I was like, you need to figure out what wands you are. So I asked the people, like, what house are you? And then I told them, like, you need to go online, find your house, then go do your wand, because I need to know the exact wand so we can figure out how close I need to get. Like, that's how bad I was. Like, I need to know what wand you have.
I'm trading
everything
you
about
in.
it, so that when I look it up,
he bought his friend's wands. You didn't buy me a
wand.
Right.
Yeah, it came with the case and everything. I'm only mad about it because then, when I came to Florida and we went to Harry Potter Land, now they have the ones with, like, the remote control, and you can, like, point them at the things. And I wish I did that, because then I didn't get one of those. I wanted the dragon.
So, okay. So those wands,
because I did make a friend sit for like 20 minutes till that dragon did something. I was like, we're not moving to the dragon.
So those wands, because I bought two. They don't belong to me. Those wands are $50 a pop. But that's how they get
drumsticks.
So you have the ones that aren't interactive, and I think they're 30. Maybe if they're specialty, like someone's wanting, maybe 35 or something. Here's how they get you. So they have a interactive. It's not really a ride, but it's an interactive experience where you go into Ollivanders. When you're 11, you get picked for Hogwarts or whatever school, and you go and you get tested. You get wand tested. So they have that experience, and they paint this beautiful story. So my niecey Pooh and my younger sister went, and they did it together. Tried wands that didn't work, and they both got their wands that worked. And then they told them they're gonna be lifelong friends, and they work so well together. Like this huge story, like weaved together, and they were just like, like, we're so special. Our wands talk to each other. And then as we're walking out, the lady was like, so do you want to buy them? Well, obviously. Well, you can get these other ones that are cheaper over here.
Oh, that's a good gimmick.
Yeah, like I'm going to be able to get the wands out of their hands.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I did do, I don't know if you did this, if you did, but I went to the park and I ran through the 3/4 wall. Like, they have this mirror thing, so it makes it look like if you look in the thing, it makes it look like you're running into the wall so that you can, like, ride to Hogwarts. Yeah, I ran through that wall.
Oh, yeah.
And I had somebody stand there with the camera, and I was like, I need you to stand here at this angle, at that mirror, so it looks like I'm running through this wall. Don't walk through till you get me going through this wall.
It's King's Cross? Like, are you talking about, like, the platform?
Yeah, I think it's King's Cross.
Yes.
Platform,
yeah.
3/4?
9 3/4, yeah.
I'll give you that. Harry Potter Land, pretty dope. It was nicely done. Universal did a very good job.
She liked it because it was British.
It's in my blood. It's
whatever.
in my blood.
I also had, do you know there's a secret menu and you can have Starbucks make you butterbeer?
Anywhere or there?
Anywhere. But
Stop playing. Wait, what?
Anywhere you can say butterbeer. See, I told you.
Anywhere, like in the U.S. I need to be crystal clear.
There's a secret menu. If you look it up, they tell you the ingredients. And if you say butterbeer and they know, you just tell them the ingredients and they make the butterbeer.
Shut it down. I
it's
love
got
me
like
some
butterscotch and all that in it. Because I was drinking it for like
you.
a good summer.
Like, I have one connection to Harry Potter now.
Really?
Butterbeer.
I was drinking it like them folks was drinking pumpkin spice.
Yes. Yeah. Is it like pumpkin spice only, a limited time only?
No, you just tell them the ingredients and they just make it for you. It's whatever. It's like actual ingredients they have. So you just tell them the ingredients. All you tell you though is that it's sugary as I don't know what.
A friend of ours was dating a Starbucks barista one time and she was just like, it's just liquid crack. Like Starbucks is liquid crack. Yeah. So that's what I consider Starbucks. So yeah, sugar.
And it's not coffee, but it's like a lot of sugar.
But it'll keep you up. You can build a house with butterbeer. You can think you'll build a house with butterbeer. Okay, I know, Ms. Glam, you're about the book. I mean, You do movies and books, but books more. Jorel, you're movie-based. But what was your favorite book? And Jorel, what was your favorite movie out of the whole series?
My favorite movie is The Half-Blood Prince.
Why?
Just because, and I know for the books it's like different, but for me, it's because of the symbolism in it. Just because of the fact, and especially because now, because before there was The Prisoner of Azkaban.
See, that's my favorite.
Because when you go to the Prisoner of Azkaban, that's when you start to find out about like the pure blood.
Yes.
And you find out that the Black family is deep. Like, you find out that, like, the whole, like, everybody you met before, like, the Weasleys, the Potters are all related to the Black family. So you're like, what kind of mess is this? But the reason why I like The Half-Blood Prince is because when you watch it, and if you know stuff now I get a lot more out of it, because even when I was watching it, like, there's the part where Snape comes up to Harry Potter. No, they tell Harry Potter that, like, he's like, you shouldn't believe Snape. And, of course, he's a teenager. He's not going to listen to adults. So they're all telling him, believe in what Dumbledore's saying, believe in he's trusting the few people he's trusting. There's a reason. And then later in the movie, we go through and he still tells him, trust me. And he tells Harry to go downstairs and he's like, trust me. And then the whole thing happens. He gets killed by Snape. And Snape, you can tell because Snape saw Harry at that point. So he knows Harry's there. And all these things happen. And of course, you find out in Deathly Hallows later what really happened and what happened in that scene that we didn't get to see, which is that Snape was playing a double agent. But to see all those little things that were working up, and you see everything from before building up into that movie. You found out about the Horcruxes because at that point we didn't know what a Horcrux was in all the other movies.
No, we found out. Oh yeah, in the book we found out what they were in book 5. So
y'all found out before, but we didn't find out till this movie.
We found out book 5.
And so in this movie you found out that one of the two of the items were Horcruxes and all that stuff, and then you find out. So it all kind of builds in that movie. That's like the pre-climax before you get to Deathly Hallows. And I was like, man, like. All this stuff happened, and it made me feel different, because Prisoner of Azkaban is a bomb movie. That's all. Like Sirius Black and all them, but this is the movie I feel like as an adult, it was, and especially me, because I like movies that like tell you, like I like Shutter Island, I like Lovecraft Country, I like anime that makes you think. I loved, Legion and all those shows. So I like those movies and shows that make you think. So seeing that, I knew, like Ms. Graham was from reading, I'm sure she saw, when you see the different clues start to add up, that's the movie that really got me. Because I was like, oh, wow. Like, I'm seeing all of it now, especially now knowing what I know. I'm like, oh, so that one was really, like, that's one of my favorites for that one.
And see, 3 was my favorite. Prisoner of Azkaban was my favorite because that's when you finally started to get the story.
Mm-hmm.
You really started to get the different pieces and stuff started to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just so much in that book. Like, don't get me wrong, 1 and 2 are good too, but it wasn't until 3 that you really started going, this is going somewhere.
Because that's when they hit their teenage years, right? That's when they hit their teenage years and they met people who knew.
Yeah, you started getting bits and pieces of why things are the way they are, what is going on behind the scenes. You started to get that stuff. And see, 6 for me, I think it dragged a little bit for me. I'll be honest. So I was heartbroken at 5.
The movie did too.
Yeah, at 5, like, that's my least favorite book. Like, that book is the darkest book for me. I struggle, like, when I do a complete reread, I struggle with book 5. I struggle reading book 5. Like, when I tell you, I just knew she wasn't gonna put Harry Potter through that. I just knew she wasn't. I was just like, you're not gonna do that to him. You've already tortured him enough. And for her to go there, I was just... I was sad. I was sad.
What was a pivotal Harry Potter universe moment for you? Either one of y'all can go first.
For me, I mean, honestly, the end. When it was all over.
How old were they? Book starts and the movie starts. How old were they? And then
11.
So 11 to 17. Okay, cool. Keep going. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, and then you got to realize the book jumps 19 years.
Sure.
So then you get to see them as adults.
Mm-hmm.
So
the movie only went through like 4 years of school.
Yeah.
Got it. Are they gonna do something where they're adults?
They were like little kids and then they went into adulthood. So they were like 11, 12 and then got up to like 18.
Yeah. For me, the ending, because I had waited so long to find out how it all ends, and I was not let down.
Oh, yay.
I was not let down.
That's good to hear.
Like, even, like, I was worried that it was going to be like, let me make everybody happy. Let me tie everything in a bow and make everybody happy.
Let me get some perspective. Have you ever read a series where you were disappointed?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. I just need to make sure that actually happens. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
Because sometimes, like, authors aren't true to the characters. And what they do is they're so used to hearing, because, authors go through beta reads and things like that, and they listen to the fans. Some do. And fans will want something, but it's not in line with the character. I get that happy ending is what you want, but that character wouldn't do those things.
Sure.
She was true to her characters all the way to the end.
Okay.
And she made some hard decisions. Like, people died. Like, favorites died. So that, to me, that took courage, because that was gonna piss people off. Like, I'll be mad. I'll be honest. I was mad that certain characters died, but I get it, because in war, you don't get to pick who dies. Like, people you like die too. So I get why she had to do it. And I did like how towards the end, she made it interactive. Like, Pottermore, her website came out, I don't know, I think in between book 6 and 7. It might have been in between 5 and 6. But, like, you can see her desk and you get little Easter eggs, and, like, she would show you little things like, this chapter's coming. Like, you would get sneak peeks. Never nearly enough that I, was satisfied, but it would be enough where I wasn't ready to strangle her. Like, if you don't finish writing this doggone book. But, like, I went in between waiting, I belonged to so many fan fiction sites, so many Harry Potter sites that was geared to her, that would tell me, like, what was coming, when was coming, like, all of this stuff. And, like, I had them on alerts. They would ping my phone, and that was before smartphones.
Right.
Like, it was that deep. Because I needed to know. Like, I needed to know the ending, because you knew something was coming. You just didn't know what. All of her books would leave you at that, and there's more. Couldn't take it. And she would make you wait years.
Yes.
So to be fair, I read 3 and 4 in college. I was a sophomore.
Yes, I do remember. That's about right. I do remember Harry Potter.
5 came out about 6 months after that. So I probably was at a sophomore, maybe a junior. 7 came out. I had graduated from school. I had been out of school for at least a year or two. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, she had babies and she had a life and all that stuff, but that's unacceptable. Like, I needed the book.
She spanned our 20s.
I think it took her, for the whole series, it was like 20 years.
Wow.
No, maybe it wasn't. It might have been.
Huh. Yeah, it might have been. I'm serious. It might have been. That sounds right. Because we were in college.
And I came in on the tail end. Like, 1 through 4 was already out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think the first book came out in 99. I didn't get into it until 2002, 3.
I had never heard of it until I was in college. I'd never heard of it until I was in college.
I hadn't either. Like I said, I walked in on a movie and I got sucked in and it was like, come on, let's go. No, I need to see what happens in this movie. Like, what's going on?
Like,
bye.
You can keep doing your spying, but I'm going to sit right here. That's hilarious. So, Jorel, what about for you? A pivotal Harry Potter universe moment.
A pivotal one for me, like I would put the last one as like an audible mention, but I loved it when the mom Weasley took out Bellatrix. Because in the movie, she cussed her out. She was like, "Get your hands off my daughter," and then sent her halfway across the room. And I was like, that's what I call.
No, that was in the book. Word for word. I loved it.
When I got up, I was like, yeah! But the moment that hit me, that I still think of the hit me was in the moment, I think it was in Order of the Phoenix, was Sirius Blackjack. And the reason why that hit me so hard is because, okay, when they built him up, because Prisoner of Azkaban, he broke out of jail, and you found out that he wasn't supposed to be, like, it was like a whole reason why he was there. He had gone through Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, and then I want to say Order of the Phoenix. He was in that. And as all this stuff starts to happen, and then we start to get the climax, and I was like, how is she letting, like, evil win? And at the end, I'm thinking it's all going to, I'm thinking everybody's going to get away safe, because that's where they're leading us to. And then right at the last minute, his sister, Bellatrix, shoots off that thing, and he pushes Harry out the way, and he gets shot. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, especially because he was the one that was like, that was Harry Potter's godfather. He was connected. He was telling Harry Potter all this stuff that he knew from the child. He was the one that was telling us, your dad wasn't a great person. Your dad was kind of like my mom, kind of like my parents and my sisters and them. But, Lily made him better. This is why she made him better. He was the one that told him, you'd be better with Snape because, we did pick on him. We weren't the best of people. When he died, it was like the person who really knew his parents the best, gone. And like, you saw Harry break down, and then at the end, everybody's like coming through, they're walking out, they see that Harry wasn't lying, you see that Voldemort was there, they all see it, and that was literally that moment for me that lets you know that nobody was safe, because prior to that point, the biggest death we had was like Cedric Diggory, and I ain't gonna lie, but he was like there for like one movie, so it wasn't like I was caring too much about him. But when you tell me somebody died after like 3 movies, I was like, what? Why? No, not serious. What? No. Especially because he was the only one out of like the Blacks and the Malfoys and all of them, like the bad purebloods, who actually had a heart. Because like when you see his cousins, Bellatrix was like a butt. Draco Malfoy's mother was like a push around. She only basically did stuff because they made her. Mm-hmm. And then the other sister they had, she got like, I think she like, they don't really mention her too much.
No, that's like, because the reason why they don't mention her, that's Tonk's mother. So they kind of So she's right. Good. They don't mention her because she married a muggle. Didn't she get
like ostracized or something?
Yeah, because she married a muggle. So like Tonks is her cousin. Tonks is or was Sirius's cousin too.
And Tonks is awesome.
Showed us the family tree. So he was the one that was like, look, we're related to the Weasleys and the Potters. And I was like, oh, so we going to act like Bellatrix wasn't out here killing everybody's relatives? Mm-hmm. So I really felt something when he died, especially because, he's played by Gary Oldman. And let's be for real, Gary Oldman can play everybody.
So, okay, you guys, listen, we got to kind of wrap this up, but I appreciate you guys geeking out over some Harry Potter.
You actually sound excited for
listen,
that was a good
I'm still confused. I still don't know Jack Diddley, but
look, we done told you there's death, there's mayhem.
Right, but you told me enough to be like, dang, all right. I mean, tomorrow I might not feel the same, but today, because I'm a present. Like, I like to be present in conversations. So I was in it. I was riding with y'all. I was hanging on for dear life because I knew none of what y'all were saying, but it was worth listening to for sure. But my last question is for you guys, but it's for someone like me. So to wrap up, the moral, we'll have you do it this way. I would like you to each answer this question. What is something you would tell someone about Harry Potter if you were trying to convince them to be a fan?
I don't have to try to convince them to be a fan. I'm going to give them a book. I'm going to give them the book. The book will make you a fan.
Will you pay them to read it?
No.
You're just going to say, here's the book. Which book? The first one? Just the first one?
You have to start with the first one.
Okay.
You just have to start.
Okay.
You know, like, for instance, you didn't read anymore. First of all, I timed it wrong. If I had timed it right this time, you might have finished the series. But she watched all the movies. We did a complete marathon. So I did get that out of it. She has watched
and you
all
think I
the
will
movies.
remember any of what y'all said. I remember none of what y'all said.
We did watch all the movies. Granted, we all watched them all in one sitting, but we watched all the movies.
I probably wasn't fully present.
Yeah, she tends to sleep during movies.
I mean, I was trying to say
sleeps
it
through
pretty.
all movies.
I mean,
all movies. Like, you have to watch like the movie 6 times with her.
That's accurate. Here's the thing.
And this,
you know what's so
this
crazy?
Isn't old age people.
You know
this
what?
Isn't old
it
age.
isn't. It's
Because this
that's all my
since
life.
I have
All my
known
life.
her. We would go to like double date in a movie theater. She's snoring.
You know what's so funny? Jorel, I don't remember sleeping when I was a kid, though. I would not sleep when I was a kid, but the adult that I became, I became
when
a...
narcolepsy hits you.
Yeah, I don't know.
16.
Yeah.
Because we would go see movies and this heifer would be snoring in my ear. Like, I'm nudging her, like, get up.
You know why? You know what?
was
You
a
know
long
why?
movie.
I know why. We don't talk in movies.
We do not.
We do not. But in Virginia, we talk during the movie.
So
It
that
depends on the
apparently
movie.
is.
It depends on the
'Cause,
movie, but
like,
we talk during movies. So I'm
It depends
talking
on
with
the movie, 'cause
people.
During The Quiet Place, I didn't allow nobody to speak. Like, the whole theater was looking at people like, you better not say a
See,
word.
that's an adult thing. You were an adult when that came out, though. Maybe. I don't know. But, you know, I don't know. But I just, maybe that's what it was. I would talk to people during the movie.
I'm trying to watch the movie.
It wasn't
Don't
a
talk
big deal
me.
to talk in the movie in Virginia. It wasn't. People did it.
Shh.
But in Florida,
See, I
we
think
are. And
I'm
you're
used-
quiet. And if you talk, it's bad.
Because we're trying to listen to the movie.
And the thing is,
See, I
here's
think I'm used to like persuading people to go to movies because see, I'm big into comic books. Like when I say big, I'm huge.
Mhm.
And so when the Marvel movies come out, I'm the one that's like, I already know the whole plot before the movie comes out. Like they announced Moon Knight, and people are like, "What are they going to be doing?" I'm like, "This is what the character's like." So I'm good at like figuring out how it goes. So like even with the Avengers movies, people are like, "Oh, I don't think I'm gonna like them." I'm like, "No, you'll like them, and this is why. This is where that story's going." I'll get overly hyped. So I feel like so you've already seen the movies, but if I was gonna get you into the movies, I wouldn't start at the first one, mainly because at your age, the first one would be like going to see like an old Disney movie for you, like one of them hand drawn Disney movies, and then you'd be halfway through and be like, "What is it?" I'm like, "It's the Aristocats," and you're like, "I don't get it. Like I'm just the Toy Story," and then I'd be like, "Oh God."
if
So what I
it
would
ain't
do is I would
Pixar.
probably start
I'm just
at,
playing.
right. So I would start at probably like Prisoner or something. And I would be fine because I would do it at home. So I would let you watch it, ask a couple of questions, and then I'd be like, "Well, you know, the first one tells you this." And all of a sudden you're intrigued. You go back, you watch the first couple, and then you come back the next day and you're like, "You know what? I watched those first 2 movies. It was a little shaky, but I got to see it, and then I got you in there." Because people are so drawn into other stuff. Like you'll see people who are watching something and they're like, "Oh, it's not that much action. It was boring." Like I was telling you, people don't like things that like they have to think about. So I have to get you to a position where like you're intrigued on your own. Like I didn't tell you I got you intrigued. I did. I manipulated you to get your mind going. But I want you to make you think that you did it on your own.
And y'all are that confident.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, because once let me tell you
Harry
something.
Potter is good.
When
There's so many magical books.
No.
Why Harry Potter?
So okay, let me paint this picture. We're gonna go back. So we have annual passes to Universal. We're gonna go back and we are going to sit right in front of the entranceway because there are plenty of people who come for the very first time and watch the reaction these people have. I have seen people break out in tears and boo-hoo cry when they see the Harry Potter life come to world. I mean, even my own brother who, you know, he calls me the Ice Queen, but he can take, you know, Ice King for, you know, run for the money. When I tell you, when he walked in, I have footage of this. that I blackmail with him all the time. I videotaped him because when he first came in, and you could tell he was trying to hold it in. Like, I ain't smiling. Biggest smile I have ever seen on his face because it is that good. And even that's what got him back into reading. Harry Potter. Both my brothers.
Interesting.
And they are readers. I mean, granted, it's a family trait, but they really didn't read as much as kids. It's not cool for whatever reason for boys to read. Don't ask me why. But I got them to read Harry Potter. They were, I don't know, early 20s, teens.
Mm-hmm.
They started reading. They still don't read as much as me, but they'll be quick to go, which books did I read? They'll reread Harry Potter over and over. It's that good?
It's a good series, I'm telling you. Because actually, I felt, this ain't one of the series she liked the last one, but I'll tell you, when the movies they separated the book into two movies.
Mm-hmm.
The first movie, they ended it, this is the one to describe to you. When they ended that second movie, the movie's been out forever. They ended it at a point where where Voldemort, goes into the place and he pulls his wand up and the wand shoots this electricity and the movie goes off. When I tell you, I felt that in the theater. So that 6 months later, because the movies only came out 6 months apart, they didn't even wait. 6 months later, I'm at the second movie and I'm like, I have to see what happened. And they started right from that point. So when they do the climax of the movie and it ends, you felt it. It made me want to go see her next movie is The Fantastic Beasts. And let's be real, not that great of movies.
Do you feel
but
that
I was
way?
like, I'll watch anything after those two, and that point where the movie ended, the first one to get ready for the second, I was like, I'll go see whatever she's selling because I don't know what she's doing, but this is what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you both for explaining all that is Harry Potter.
You gonna read the books? Probably not.
I mean, I was invested in this conversation. Let's start with, we're having a great time. Let's leave it.
Do we need to pay PayPal you $5? What we gotta do? What we gotta do?
I mean, listen, I have done some things for
Audiobook. Audiobook.
No. I mean, is it gonna be a British person?
Yes.
Is it
Yes.
What kind of...
You will learn. You will perfect.
What kind of dialect?
No, you will
Brit.
Authentic.
Am I gonna?
Authentic.
She said authentic.
You will.
Is it the Queen's English, the commoner's English? Which is it, darling?
Will be able to pick it up. You said by 40, you're going to turn completely British, accent all.
This is true.
If you listen to all the audiobooks, all 7 books, I promise you, when you walk away, no one will be able to tell that you aren't really authentic British.
Can I ask you a random question, Jorel?
No, this is directed at you.
Okay. Would you be friends with someone who just switched their dialect to just British and just...
Sure, but you need to just let me know beforehand so I don't get in front of friends. Miss Ann wouldn't know, but other friends get around and I'd be like, when did you get an accent?
Exactly. I'm going to be that person all the time.
Me before I get you somewhere.
I'm going to be
Remember that episode on Insecure when she decided to be British, Kelly?
Oh, yes.
Issa's brother was kept messing with her. Okay, I got you.
You got a cold?
Just let me be great. But no, I appreciate you guys. Seriously, this was great. I was invested in the moment. We'll see how this goes. So we're going to move on. And Jorel, I know you're going to have front row seat as we do petty words. So petty word of the day. It's where we take a pretty word out the dictionary. We learn it, absorb it. I try to say it correctly, but we teach it to you out there so that way you can learn a new word and expand your vocabulary. But we know that the only way to absorb it is through sentences. But on our show, we like to do it with a twist, a petty one. So with that being said, Ms. Glam, the floor is yours.
So my word this week is quotidian.
Quotidian.
And it means occurring every day. My petty sentence is actually targeting my niece because while I'm very proud that she made the cheerleading squad, I'm not happy about the level of commitment that I've been signed up for. My sentence: my niece has so much going on that it has become a quotidian routine for me to be chauffeuring her around from one activity to the next.
So you're Uber auntie.
Yeah.
Sound like
sometimes
she need to cash app you
multiple times a day. I can't sell her, but I can give her away.
No.
You're not going to take it
charge.
for free?
Huh? See the way my household is set. So my petty word, calipegian. It's an adjective. Having beautiful, well-shaped buttocks.
Oh, this is about me.
My sentence: I finally found a word that Ms. Glam can use to rave about her new yoga booty.
Why gotta be new? Why gotta be new?
You can have it all your life.
That's beside the point. I've had it long enough. Yes. Yoga booty.
Yeah.
I'm going to go find out the correct way of saying it. But yes, that is my new word.
I hate you. For the record, I'm pretty confident that that's Calipigeon, but I could be wrong.
Exactly. They'll have me out here and people like, what in the world are you saying?
Like, listen.
I'm going to go find out the
when
correct
you
way
pat
to
the
say
area, they'll be like, I don't know what you're saying, but your booty looks nice. And then
Right.
Calipigeon. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Jorel, thank you for showing up and showing out and talking all things Harry Potter. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you both for having me.
Yeah, Miss Glam, thanks for, I've always wanted to kind of introduce you to, and I needed to do it in an organic way. But yes, I wanted to introduce someone from when I was itty bitty to you.
Yes.
Little VA.
I will be texting him.
Don't give her nothing, Jorel. Don't give her
Don't
nothing.
listen to her.
This is another episode in the hole. Do you have anything left to say?
Until next time.
And we are out.